Hitler, the name that we all can remember. Who was Hitler? Hitler was the main person from which the whole world got destroyed. Why was he so powerful? Today's video, you will talk about it in the context of NCERT.
And I am RISHIN Dey, and today my topic is about Hitler, how he became so much powerful and how much he got so much power to rule the whole world, and Nazism, how it spread to the whole world. Let's start today's video by several type of contents. The first content in our topic that can be shown in the screen is about the first military international tribunal. This international military tribunal was framed by the whole world military tribunals or the governments to form that what happened exactly in Germany at that time, that Hitler got so much furious and so much gypsies and Jews were killed. So at first the whole world didn't know what exactly happened. Did they come to know? Yes, they came to know by some this international military tribunal. They went to the Nazi Germany or the Germany at that time and just find out some troops in that Germany area spending time, and they had some camps or training camps in especially Berlin bunker, where Hitler in 1945 on 30th April committed suicide by shooting himself in the Berlin bunker in April, and his minister Goebbels was also killed along with his wife and his dog. So this thing we can understand why Hitler committed suicide, because Hitler was feared that he might get caught under the Russian military and he will be tortured, and he didn't want to get tortured at that time crucially. And so that's why Hitler decided that he had to kill himself alone. And in that time he just decided that the International Military Tribunal could be fine, and that's why he escaped early. That time, the International Military Tribunal find that Nazi Germany killed 6 million Jews, 2 lakh gypsies, along with another million Polish civilians and another many Jews who are not considered as true Aryan Russian German caste. Now, the Germans were found guilty for these war crimes, for war crimes against humanity, war crimes against just peace, and so the International Military Tribunal decided to punish them. Just like you do mistake in your class and teacher punish you, just like in the same way. But the punishment was very severe or very much less amount this one only. How can you can say this much? Because that only 11 Nazis were leaded to death's impotence, and only others were imprisoned for whole life. They have killed so much people, so much nuisance, and just only 11 Nazis to death. Is this just acceptable for us? Obviously no. But why did they took just this type of step? Because they did not want to repeat the first war guilt that caused after the First World War. Then what happened after the First World War that they are still fear now after the Second World War, that Hitler can be again be risen? Another person like Hitler could another be risen. Let's find out the next content. Now the second content start, the birth of Weimar Republic. This Weimar Republic, interesting fact is, now also the German present day parliament is known as Weimar Republic. This Weimar Republic was framed at then the first time World War happened. That time Germany and others were in one group, another France, England and US after entered in 1917 just was winning the group. At that time Germany lost because US entered in 1917, and eventually November 1918 they have to surrender. And after the loss, Germany was mainly accused for the war guilt cause, and for that the one biggest and biggest historic blunder took place in Versailles Treaty in France. And that's why only we can say for this blunder the Second World War happened and so many innocent people have to lose lives. Let us find out what happened in the Versailles Treaty. Now, after Germany's that time king was Kaiser Williams, who had to leave the country because he was accused. At that time, the new socialists, Democrats and Catholics were later known called as November criminals, who supported the Weimar Republic and made Germany from a monarchical country to democratic country. In their views that they have to sort out the position and other things, so they went up to a deal and a pact with Versailles Treaty with France, Belgium, Lithuania and Poland, parts of Europe. While England, interestingly, did not get any fund or the benefits from the treaty, and the treaty was given as 75% of its coal, iron and lands, and 6 billion pounds at that time was taken from Germany. And they became landless, they became resourceless, they became everything less, and then only the new German Republic or the birth of Weimar Republic was there in Reichstag or German Parliament in the 1920 or 1921 time. Now the next content that is given, that is that how much treaty or the war was the war after conditions. The conditions was very bad, very bad, very bad, very and very bad. Why I'm saying this? Because Germany's people did not have the food to eat, shelter to live, and things to live, survive. Nothing is there. Even there is people who are worked earlier as engineers or doctors now are roaming in the roadside areas, hanging a banner that willing to do any work. That you can understand what is the condition of normal people then. If doctors and engineers are in the roads, then what is the condition of normal people? Very bad, very bad, very bad. Germany was demilitarized. That means more soldiers lost their lives. In that part only, Hitler was earlier. Hitler was a person, normal person at that time, was a good student, but he later made to join the military and lost his job. Hitler joined a party called Nazi Workers' Party, which was later named Nazi Workers' Party, but initially it was named as Socialist Workers Democratic Party. Now these parties were formed by Hitler. Later on, we will see this. But now let us focus on our present content. The present content deals with that how the much severe control was in Germany. Germany was made to lose his most of his resources, most of his land, most of his armies, most of his things were nothing to do. Even the gold currency fell down. There was a subsistence crisis like in French Revolution. We have read in the first chapter in NCERT class 9. Now we are reading in Russia after Russia in Germany. There was subsistence crisis or hyperinflation. This term means that when the essential commodities goods rise high, prices rise high, and for this, for buy a single piece of bread, you need 1 million rupees. That is the hyperinflation. Now the next topic, fourth content that we have is that Hitler's rise to power. What was Hitler doing at that time to rise in so much power and beautiful power? Now Hitler jointly joined the German Workers' Party, which he later made the Nazi Party. This Nazi Party in 1928 or 1929 elections got only 2.6% votes out of 100% votes. They could not frame the government at that time, but after 3 years, after the Wall Street Exchange, one of the greatest economic power, at that time USA crashed and the people got disbelieved, get jobless, landless, everything. And in 1932, they have no other words to save Hitler, and Hitler just get his miraculous power. In 1932, Hitler just framed the government with 37% majority votes and just formed the dictatorship in Germany. No, the general fact is that what made Hitler so much think about that people started to believe him. He made that he will bring all the land that lost during the Versailles Treaty, all the things that were lost during Versailles Treaty will be being bought by again by Hitler. Now Hitler just made the things that he had to save our country, to save the Germans. Everyone will see Hitler as a crucial or very bad power, but actually he was very kind for the Germans, for the real true Germans whom he considered as close ones. Even his friend he usually look after that, and they usually look help him after that. From this we can understand how Hitler was miraculous and savior of his own country. For that he was called as Messiah in his own country, which means actually the savior. Now Hitler was again, the next content that he started was Hitler, what was he doing? He just after the fire degree abolition, he just made his own enabling act and was dictatorship of Germany, and usually killed all the other parties and only made Germany a one party crucial state and killed all the communists of that time. And just he made some crucial laws that this was a type of Nazi salute that was developed at that time, and Hitler was very much interested in finding out ways to make his people very happy, and that's why he offered them free Volkswagen, free people's car, free roadways, free bus tickets, free bus fares, etc. Everything was given by Hitler. Now we can understand how Hitler was very much powerful and was saving his people from the fear. When Hitler was going his path one by one, he made a big mistake of his own life. He invaded Poland. After that, he invaded USSR. He invaded Poland in September 1939, and US and other countries got furious and just attacked on him. France, Belgium, all attacked on Hitler, and just Hitler was being destroyed totally and crucially. And how was he destroyed? He, after 6 years only, he committed suicide in his home alone, and this is how Hitler's come to an end. Now there are several systems that came after Hitler's death was Nazi youth and Nazi motherhood. Nazi youth contains from the childhood only the gypsies on the Alas were classified or division on the basis of their Aryans. Those who are true Aryans were Germans, those who are not true Aryans were not Germans. Now the Nazi motherhood were taken as that after 18 years of age, girls have to always for 5 years service. Now the what Israel has, we have to 5 years service is obviously for Germans people leaving for army or military hood. Now the mothers were given bronze for 4, silver for 6, and gold for 8 or more for bearing true Germans. And who did not bear true Germans were punished and at times even persecuted totally. Now, as everything comes to an end, Hitler's also came to an end in September 9, April 1945 only. He committed suicide along with his own wife and his own ministers, and his dog in 1945.